Welcome, wherever you are and whenever you are, to the State of Joy. I'm Scott, your Joy for Leadership coach and your guide on the path of joy. Today I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we got onto the subject of, we got onto the metaphor, in fact, of the caterpillar into the butterfly. Now, if you've done any personal transformation work, you'll understand that metaphor. It's about obviously how the caterpillar goes into its cocoon, and it basically becomes pupae or dissolves, and then turns into the butterfly. And it's this process, which is used often as a metaphor for personal transformation. But what came up for me is something that I hadn't really thought about, but it was around this idea. There was actually three concepts that came up for me around the concept of the cocoon, because to be honest, when it comes to personal development, everyone focuses on the butterfly and the transformation of the butterfly, a little bit on the caterpillar, on the ugly fella, and doing the change and transformation work and things, but no one really looks at the cocoon, the shell. And there's three ideas that came up for me as a metaphor around this cocoon. One of these is the actual metaphor of the cocoon, and the other two are kind of supporting ideas. But they are creativity, focus, and discipline. And then what it is essentially that, I had this thought process, and I'm still working through it, still refining and clarifying it. But I thought I'd share it here today, just so I can kind of work through it in my own, put it out there and work through it in my own head. But the idea is that through focused effort, the caterpillar spins silk into a cocoon, which creates the space in which transformation happens. Now, this metaphor for me, the cocoon is actually discipline, because this is a piece of transformation that a lot of people don't focus on and don't talk about, in fact. But it's a necessary part of making change happen in your life. It doesn't happen willy-nilly. In order to get uncomfortable, to sit in discomfort, and to go and create change in your world, you need discipline to make these changes happen, because we are creatures of habit. And generally, though our ego self and the current identity that we often have wants to keep us in the status quo, wants to keep us in this identity, because it's comfortable, it's safe, it understands the rules. When we want to shift that identity and transform ourselves into somebody else, and try different things and get out of our comfort zone, the ego starts to scream unsafe, and throws all these reasons why you shouldn't be doing it, and tries to keep you safe. It's doing a good job. That's what its job is for. It's to keep you safe, but it's not always needed. And it takes discipline to be able to create new habits and new ways of doing things that are outside of your norm on the daily basis. And this is where I used, I was just thinking about this cocoon analogy and thinking that this is what discipline is. It literally creates the space. It's kind of the framework or the scaffolding that allows you to go and become somebody else. And I think it's certainly something I'm going to sit with further, and I'm going to refine further. But I just thought I'd put that out there as a concept, and just see what how that resonates, and whether that actually has some legs to sort of move forward. And I'm going to be working through it a little bit more, because it speaks to me. And I've been doing my own work on the path of joy, as is the case. And without discipline, changing my habits wouldn't work. It's that simple. I mean, I'm only speaking from my own experience here, but for me personally, I've needed discipline, and discipline isn't some whip-cracking taskmaster. It's literally just a scaffolding or framework that allows the space for you to change your identity and your beliefs and do the work on yourself. So that's my joyful wisdom and insight and just thought for today. So stay curious, lead with joy, and shift the culture.